She was 19 and she was cool. It was fun. It was really fun because like just coming to my house and just me having cable was like, you had cable, So,
You had food in your fridge.
right. I'm like, I had food, I had cable, you know, the basic stuff. I'm like, yeah, I guess so for a 19-year-old. But the funny part is when like maybe a week or two went by, I hadn't heard from her, we hadn't talked. So I go to call her. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh, I'm in Miami for spring break. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, Ulysses, I think this has gone too far.
811 crew, we are back in his house. It's your boy Jay Turner with my man
Ulysses Slugger Glenn.
Sluggerific. Y'all know that's what I call him because he pretty much knows everything and is terrific with everything except when he's not.
When I don't know it.
But he knows a lot about what the topic today is, and we're going to really get into it. We're going to talk about this thing, May December Lovin'. Now, I did not know that. I had never heard this term, May December Lovin'. Because I like loving in May and December, but I never knew what the relevant. Can you explain to the audience what we're talking about today?
May, December is when you have a young person and an old person. Like spring shows young, beginning of the year, and December is old. Like they're long in the tooth. You're old, so you have.
I actually didn't know that. I was like, is it the number of months multiplied by something like it? Then it's in dog years. It's old.
And you know what? When I think December, I think the opposite.
No, wait. I was like, why? But why May? Why not? April is actually spring.
I mean, okay.
Right. And December reminds me of like Christmas, like little kids. So I feel like
they're
excited.
Talking about
it's like renewal about to happen.
New month, old month.
But in this case, we're talking about the age of people that you date, right?
Maybe.
So we're in our 50s now, and of course,
38.
This is truly the best time. Like y'all, I'm like for real. And Ulysses, you got to back me up on this. And audience, Sydney, when you're in your 50s, assuming that you can still walk, run, maybe.
I don't think you have
to
think. You don't really have to do all that. But
well,
okay,
here's the thing.
Some of that's extra.
If you got your game somewhat tight,
no,
you have options in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. I mean, I guess you could go 70s.
You could go 70.
You go 70
right.
because there could be, in general.
They can take your teeth out.
In the 50s is when I think you have the
that's
broadest range of options. Talk to me.
Yeah, 50s, you can do anything. If in the 50s, because you could, date half your age plus 7.
Right. I was going to say Elijah Muhammad. We got to start with him. Now, he was a sage person, a man of wisdom.
Date your age plus 7?
No, it's half your age. So men should date half their age plus 7.
Half your age plus 7.
Oh.
So with me, who's 50, I'd say I'm 53. Let's just round it down and say I'm 26. That means my perfect person is 33 years old.
Okay, so 33. My perfect person. Wait a minute.
I think this only works for men.
Right? Yeah, this is not
because women are more.
No, because God was a man.
because Jesus was his son.
But hey,
and Elijah is a man.
On Bumble though, my friend told me to go down in age.
You're on Bumble.
I just it's just for fun.
Okay.
And I went down to I was like at 45. He's like, no, go to 41.
Yeah, 41.
41 and 42-year-olds love me.
Okay, so you you flipped an episode with a.
I've only gone on one Bumble date. I don't like social. I'm still trying to get into it, but anyway.
Okay.
But what do you think about the old now? Before we get into our thing, since we got you here, Sydney, why don't you lead us all from the woman's perspective about the range? Like, what's the youngest guy that you ever dated, maybe that you cougared up on? And then why don't you give us some
that you cougared up on?
Why don't you give us some grandpa stats? What's that older gentleman that you got up on? Like,
so let's see.
Don't be lying.
I'm gonna talk from the age that I am right now.
Okay.
So I'd say the youngest is probably like 10 years.
Okay.
But you have to say, for my age, I'm very active, and so I look. I'm only 20, but I look. But I just recently encountered someone that was a little older than me. He was in his early 60s.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
You said late 60s?
Early 60s.
Oh, early 60s. Okay.
And there were some things. He finally, he's like, I really, really like you, but you're like too energetic for me.
He was like, I need you to sit your ass down for a second.
He said, I like to have my woman and sit at home like 90% of the time, and then just go out every once in a while. And I was like,
really?
No, you're not.
You'd be living in the home a lot, and then
right.
he'd be insecure, and then who knows what's going to happen.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out. But then, when you go the younger ones, I'm like, ooh, okay. As I age, is he gonna start looking like mature and gray, and I'm gonna start looking wrinkled and like slunched over? So I'm still trying to figure that part out right now. So I'm tending to want to go either my age or a little younger within like
Very
5 or
interesting.
6 years.
Very interesting. You know what? There's a reason I asked her that question first.
He's got somebody for me.
No, I got some
Oh yeah,
data.
that's right. That's right.
No,
I have
some
somebody
data.
for you. That's right. I do.
I have some data. I actually did a little research for this segment.
Okay.
And did you know that in 2001, a
Whoa.
group of Dutch scientists actually started looking at this whole thing, this
Okay.
May, December, everything, right? And they said that actually men like a bigger range of age difference depending on how casual the relationship is going to be. So if you're just interested in sex, you're going to skew that. I'll just like most of the fantasies that men had about with women were someone even in their 20s or 30s in terms of men over 50.
Okay.
That's not surprising,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
I don't do that. I tend to stay in my cohort, but for women, they found something else. For women, they found that women even prefer and still even fantasize about men within their age range, maybe a little younger. Exactly what you just said.
But you just reminded me of something. So I'm in my 50s now, but I remember when I was in my 40s and became divorced. Oh my God, it was like Freak Nation.
Okay.
And 20-year-olds were, and I did have it.
Oh, so more
I
than
had-
10. So now you 10 plus
So
7.
it was. I was in my 40s. It was a little 25-year-old who was trying to hang out.
Okay.
But yeah, and I think it's because in their mind there was this newly divorced woman, so they just think, oh, she must need
Thou
some
art
help.
loosed.
She must need some help. I was like,
Well,
no,
maybe
baby.
they think you know
No, maybe
some
I'm gonna
things,
help
girl.
you.
You can
I
teach.
don't-
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think? Why
I
would you
had
think
the
that he thought that
most
they would
fun
teach you
in
something?
those years. I was like,
I have some interesting stories.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
some
And I don't
hilarious-
believe those guys, when they think of an older women, I don't think they think that they're going to teach you something. I think the
No.
opposite.
Yeah, older women teach you. I
Yeah.
can tell you for a fact.
but when you're in your 40s, it's also, or even now you look, because the guys my age or a little bit older are slowed way down in
Right.
many areas.
Okay.
Which I'm like, I had my first encounter there too. I was like,
Ooh, wow.
What areas? Do tell. Like what's
ooh.
one area?
we don't have spontaneous. It has to have a pill pop first.
Okay, the show's over.
Uh-oh.
Goodbye, ladies and
talking about
gentlemen.
popping pills.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are out.
They asked me.
Pills come in
So
many different
you
colors.
tell your story then.
Well, okay, so I've, throughout my career, I have dated a range. I'm still laughing at something.
Mo is
you-
laughing too.
Listen, are
Okay.
you popping pills?
Oh,
I'm just
hell
saying,
no.
Go ahead.
No, oh no.
Right. You can be honest here. on the
19
show.
years-
You
I'm
can
like
be
a-
open.
Nobody's watching. It's just us.
Right. You can be
I'll make the
honest.
whole room go dark in half a second.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. You left off on pills.
So I
Don't go there.
so I
talk?
so when I first got divorced, I was out with my boy. We were having lunch. So waitress comes, cute waitress. We start, me being Ulysses, start chit-chatting, whatever. Got her number and everything. So I find out that she's, do we have to say the age? Oh, she was over 18, let's be clear. I'm not R. Kelly. She was 19. And she went to
Barely. He's barely R. Kelly.
and she went to Howard. So
Were you at Hooters or something? I mean, where?
no,
I'm sorry,
she
I'm
was
sorry. Where were you? 17 years old. I mean, what? Hold on a
right.
second now. What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She was 19 and she was cool. It was fun. It was really fun because like just coming to my house and just me having cable was like you had cable,
You had food in your fridge.
right. I'm like I had food, I had cable, the basic stuff. I'm like, yeah, I guess so for a 19-year-old. But the funny part is when like maybe a week or two went by and I hadn't heard from her, we hadn't talked. So I go to call her. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, oh, I'm in Miami for spring break. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, Ulysses, I think this has gone too far.
Did you ever remember how much you still like Miami though? I mean, did that?
Oh yeah, I did. But then I realized like she's on spring break. Then I kind of thought like, can I see myself in spring break? I was
You
like,
thought
nah.
I can't even buy her a drink.
I was like, you have a fake ID. Like,
Right.
I was like,
See.
oh. But then I dated someone at the other spectrum, and that was cool. The only thing is, I think we've kind of talked about this. So when we went to have adult relations, things looked a little different. Like I didn't know everything changed.
Okay, that's enough. We understand.
Right.
Wow. Now I've been on both ends, and we're gonna go to break here. But before we do, I gotta tell you, I had a little experience. I went 20 years down, 20 years younger. I was 49, and Shorty was 28, just about to be 29. Amazing millennial experience. And I learned there's a lot of difference between the Generation Xers and the millennials. But the one thing that I will say before we go to break is I had forgotten what a 20-something-year-old spin instructor who had no kids looks like naked.
Right.
Let's go to commercial break on
Did you say naked? That's how you know you're bucket
will be
naked.
11 crew will be
bucket
back.
naked.
Right. Think about that. 29 naked.
Whatever.
811 crew, and we are back
We're
tripping
back.
on age. Like, how low can you go? How old can you be?
I'm gonna tell you what you don't want to do.
Uh-oh.
You don't want to be Anna Nicole Smith. She married the dude that was like 90-some years old. Remember she was the Guess Jean model.
Okay,
chick.
okay.
She died. He was like 90, and she was 21, 22.
But how much money did she get?
Oh, she got tons. His family. I mean, he was an oil. But come on, this was disgusting. This was literally disgusting.
If it ain't about the money.
But he was like, because I remember they said, did you all consummate the relationship? And she's like, well, we kind of held each other. I'm like, he was 90-something. He was in the fetal position.
Right.
Like, what are you
He was
talking
like, let
about?
me just rub it on
right.
there.
It wasn't even like, there were no
it.
pills. There was nothing. Like,
But if you had a month to live, would you rather lay in that bed by yourself or have her big old...
I'd rather have partnership.
I would rather have partnership, but I'm looking at her like, where's her moral compass at some point? Like,
it was in her pocketbook and her bank account, obviously.
But I feel like you're being a bit ageist, though. I mean, you can't say that just
21
because.
and 90?
Yes, but.
I mean, 21 and 90.
I'm
She
an
could
English
drink.
major,
She
but I
could drink.
just
Your
did math
first
on
date,
that.
your date couldn't drink. So
Okay, so now I'm being shamed.
Yeah.
Because we had 20 years between us, but 70 years is fine.
But think about it. She's like, I'm a trust fund baby.
She is. I mean,
At 21, yes.
At 21, because he died like shortly after.
Well, I'm
like,
not going to be
later.
mad at him. I mean, there are some things that money can do for you. Money can definitely buy you a 21-year-old when you're 90 if you have at least $90 million.
Oh, yeah. I can see it. Yeah.
You can win. But now, in general, though, I feel like I like to date within my cohort. Like when I look at the range of folks that I've dated, I generally like to be right in my same age. My former wife was 2 years older than me. Cool. So I've dated women who were a couple years older. I've dated women who were a couple years younger. But generally, I like to be right around the same cohort. I don't feel like training nobody. I don't want to have to be worried about your back that you can't bend over. I don't want to have to worry that I just don't want to have. I just like people who were born in my cohort. I don't want to see your Depends in the
trash. That's the
if I'm not wearing them, we need to be in the same. Yeah, we need to be in the same age.
I think so.
Because, you don't want to be the old dude at the club. You're like, you're with her friends. You're like, I don't even know these songs.
Right.
And
at some point, if I'm 50, I'm 53, right?
Right.
If I was dating a chick that was 33, I'm definitely thinking, I could think, man, I do have the best personality. I'm just the smartest, funniest dude. Like, and I'm better looking than any 30-something-year-old dude that she would be messing with.
No. No. I'm like,
Now, wait a minute. Now, let's get a young perspective on this. Right? Mo, man, wake up, man.
Mo.
We got to get you, like, look. I know we some two old dudes talking over here to you. You might be like, listen to these uncles talking. What they talking about? But you hear what we talking about.
And just for the record,
older,
Mo's only giving advice. These are none of the things he's ever done or be part of.
Wait a minute. You've been behind closed doors with Mo?
No. I'm just saying this because Mo has a family and things at home. So this is only advice. So this is nothing he's experienced.
So he said this does not have to be your personal experience.
Your friends. You're talking.
You read.
Right.
Magazine articles. What's your opinion?
We want to keep you married. That's our whole idea. Yes.
But you don't know. They have that type of relationship.
I should say this.
Okay.
My wife knows.
All right.
So I was 24. She was 47.
Oh.
And she taught me how to build my credit up. We travel. I travel the world with her.
Really?
It's nice because she was recently divorced too.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Your wife now?
Yeah, she knows.
Wow.
Oh, she knows, but it's not
Oh,
her.
not your wife.
Oh, no,
now
no,
is
no,
not
no, no,
47.
no, no.
I thought that's what he was saying. I was like,
no,
wow, we should have started with that.
They was like,
you got
like,
May and December.
like,
Wow.
why are
you
we
got all the
talking
bases
like
covered?
so
Right.
really?
Come, man, pull up closer. No, go
You
ahead.
saw
So,
it leaned in. I was like, what? Wait, how old was she again? How
She
old?
was 47. I was 24.
she took
Okay.
you right to Red Lobster. She's like, what you want? No, I'm serious.
He's like
What?
PlayStation. He was like,
Oh, that was the time of my life.
he was
Wow. She was like, you want this PlayStation 3?
We fell off because I did want to be like, I wanted like kids afterwards. She didn't want no more kids. Like her kids was like around my age.
Right, she-
Oh,
I
so
had
y'all
to
really
be-
were
I
playing
had
the
to tell
game.
you,
So we were just playing like,
she couldn't have kids.
Now, what happened when you saw her kids in the morning?
Right.
Were you both
When they
like, man, I
calling
want
you-
some Wheaties too? I mean,
when they calling
y'all
you
fighting over the last
Mr.
pop tart.
Mr.
I mean,
Mo.
what
the
was going
funny
on?
thing is, I only went over there when the kids wasn't there.
They weren't kids. When her
when your
adult,
peers went around.
when my friends weren't there.
So they never saw you.
We only seen each other one time.
They
And
took-
that was we went to like a football game.
Did your mama see her?
No.
Who around, did your boy? Who
My
saw
boys
her?
saw her.
And what did
Yeah.
your boy? Were your boys like? What did they think?
My boys was like, hold up, is that your aunt?
Oh wow!
Because it's like she picking me up.
Right.
And we just going to the airport.
Right, but they didn't say is it your mom?
Your mama came to pick you up.
Long as no one said is that your mother, then you know
Did
that's
she
all right.
look 47?
Nuh-uh. She looked like she was like in her 30s.
So were your
that's
boys
key.
like, oh, it's okay? Or were they like,
I mean, they was like, can I get one of those?
Right.
See what I'm saying, dudes? I swear, like we said earlier, wouldn't you agree, Mo? When men think of an older woman, you definitely think you're leveling up.
Yeah.
You know, you about to experience some new stuff. That chick has got her game together. And women are more, let's be honest, women from a younger age are more mature than us anyway.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a thinking from the basics that, you know, the woman, I'm going to learn something from this older chick.
Have you ever dated an older woman? Older,
Wait a minute.
significantly
You know what?
older.
Wait, pause. That sounds like Ulysses asked me a question. Did you just ask me a question?
Yeah,
Why-
see?
wait,
See?
ask it one more time. Just,
Jason-
I just want to hear
Jason
it again.
Turner, have you ever dated an older woman? Somebody significantly older.
Question. You know what, Ulysses?
Yeah, see?
I'm going to answer your question.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
See,
answer your question,
I'm doing
bro.
better. See,
So,
2023,
yes,
I'm doing better.
I have dated a woman in her 60s.
ooh,
Okay.
okay.
I dated a woman in her 60s.
Marcus.
It was like 8-9 years, you know, 8-9 year, 10 year difference.
Remember in Boomerang, Marcus?
No, it was Marcus.
I thought it was Martin.
No,
Marcus or Martin?
Marcus.
I got the
Remember in
wrong
Boomer-
show. I got a different show.
We're talking about Boomerang.
Oh, Boomerang, yes.
Remember when Eartha Kitt and
Absolutely.
Right?
Strong shade.
So here's my question though. If you're going up, is that gap number smaller than if you're going down? Because if you're going down, we've said 20, 30 years. If you're going up, can it be 20, 30 years? I think there was a poll question.
Well,
That's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
We had a poll. In fact, right.
Let's
We
go to
did
the
have a
poll
poll
question.
question.
Then I'll
You
tell-
know what, Sydney? Thank you for that. 'Cause we were getting caught up in Mo's 47-year-old and Ulysses' 19-year-old and forgot about the poll question.
But I also do have a 47-year-old. I was like Mo when I was 23. But we'll go back to that. It was fun.
That's nice.
We'll go back to that.
All right. Very good. Poll question.
a poll question.
Are we the only ones? I mean, talk to us.
So when dating, how big of an age gap is too big? Between 5 and 10 years, 12%. 10 plus years, 82%, 88%.
So over 10
So
years.
10 years
huge.
is the line.
Yeah, 10 is the line.
Yeah.
But I still think that's going down. That's not going up.
Mine was
I believe, they probably think about going down more.
when I was. Yeah, well, it depends what age. So when I was 23, dated woman. She was 45. She was 45. I had to do the math. So, and it was fun because the fun thing is that she had a Volvo station wagon.
Oh, see.
Like that because she had kids.
240 DL.
Yeah, she had it was nice too though, and it was red.
That was the soccer van before the soccer
Yeah,
van.
yeah, before, yeah.
That's exactly
Like when you
right.
went on vacation in the station wagon, like me and my brother would put the seats down and we'd have a whole like party in the back because we didn't wear seatbelts. And we'd be facing the people in the car.
Oh yeah,
That's
what
right.
And we'd always
Right.
make faces at the
The
people.
Volvo and the Mercedes station
Station
wagon
wagon
were the
were
only
like-
two where you could sit in the back facing.
And I
out
thought there
the
was a
back. It was so
GM one
tight.
too that you could do it.
Well, we
Like
didn't even
Gremlin
we didn't
or
even
something.
sit in the seat. The ones you're talking about had the seats. We put everything flat. So we had our pillows. We had like a camp out.
That's before they were required to wear seatbelts.
Exactly.
See, that's before airbags, seatbelts, analog brakes. You really talking about? You really going back?
You say analog brakes?
You ain't no ABS. What is that? No, but I'm serious though, man. Like, you could 10 years. I feel like it's good. I felt like 10 years up, even though. But I'll tell you one of the hardest things about dating a woman in her 60s.
I'm not going to go there because I'm going to get kicked off the show.
Don't even do it.
No. The hardest part is you're like, damn, she's in her 60s. That really, I don't know if, is that wrong that you say that? Did you feel, is that being ageist?
I feel
yes.
I feel like I need to filter. There's so many things I want to say, so I don't even know what to say.
So like, we're going to keep you from talking.
Yeah,
what do you think,
I think
Mo?
you should turn my mic off.
I think we about to have this.
I think we should turn my mic off.
Because I'm like, doing sets, is it, you got to be gentle?
Wow.
Like you have to use like,
or are they trying to flip you around? Or do they just know so much more?
Okay, let me just enlighten you all. I am 58.
Okay.
Go ahead now.
And proud of it.
Okay.
And you don't have to be gentle.
But not so much
and
gentle.
You don't feel like your game is going to slip at all over the next 1,000 days when you go over the 60 number?
In fact, it's getting hotter.
Ooh.
So like,
okay.
Because, again, like you said, in your 20s, you still had that, you can't do this. You're supposed to be good, good
Straight
girl.
missionary,
good
all
girl.
that, right?
Then you get into the age where you're trying to kind of settle down, have a husband, family. Then you got kids. But then when you, like I said, when you get divorced, it's like, woohoo. But then you get into paying for kids' college and, all of that stuff.
Mercy.
So now it's like another wave where I'm like, ooh, kids are like grown, haven't been in my bank account for years now.
Okay.
And, I'm like, God, this is a good time too. So,
would you be willing to name one thing that you didn't do or thought was crazy then, but now in your maturity,
this is gonna be good.
Ready to get with it?
Right.
I'm gonna see where you gonna land on it. You might have you answer this too. I mean, what? Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to think about that during the break because I can't think of anything
you want to say? Yeah.
I mean, you just talked about all this new.
No, I said. He said, "Can you think of anything new?" Everything I did then, I do now.
Really, you was out there then? Okay,
wow.
Go on, Sid. All right. I guess my thing is like once you get women get a certain age of like 60 plus, like does it kind of like a desert? Like
now, see, desert, or are we talking dessert? Because it could be either one. But I gotta ask you too. But wait a minute.
Desert.
When we get back though,
like,
because we got. Well, wait a minute. We gotta take a break because we talked about a whole bunch of stuff here.
But no, the 10 years thing, I understand that, but all in all, you need to do what makes you happy. If you meet somebody, if you're 70 years old and you meet a 25-year-old chick and y'all hit it off, you're happy, she's happy, regardless. If it's a money situation and if everyone's happy, you do you.
That's true.
I mean, it's. Now am I going to laugh at you? Of course. If I see a 70-year-old man and a 25-year-old. I'm gonna laugh.
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna definitely look like.
I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna look at her like you're wrong, and I'm like, dude, you're spending all your money. Your whole retirement's gone. But he's
is she
happy.
Wrong for that?
No one's wrong, but
because there is. Have you seen the actress that played? She was in Wicked. She's a really petite white woman, plays on Broadway. Anyway, she's engaged. She's like in her, I think she may be 70. And she's engaged to a 20-something-year-old.
Really?
And when I see them on TV, do you know who I'm talking? What's her name?
Cher. Oh, Cher?
No, not Cher.
But she is engaged to.
No,
Cher's engaged to somebody too. Yeah.
Wow.
But when I see these
she was.
two
I
now,
remember something like,
I'm like, ooh, that looks wrong.
what's the old dude? Robert De Niro he's 79, just had a baby. Like, how you gonna have a Viagra baby? Like, that's ridiculous.
He keeps popping them up.
He's a Viagra baby. Like, there's no way. Like, come on now. Somebody needs to do a study on the kid because this is a Viagra kid.
Well, I mean, Robert De Niro. I mean, he's been all over the range. I mean, he used to like sisters the whole time. I think
he likes brown skin.
he's on the Asian flavor now. I think.
I thought she was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was Latino.
Asian.
I think she's Asian. But either way it is, I mean, Robert De Niro, I mean, that's a win-win for everybody involved, probably.
Right. So,
don't you think?
She's happy. The kids only know him for a few years. I mean, but you're 79. You're having to get at some point.
One of the things that I do think one of the things that I kind of don't like a little bit is on this age thing is when women, women and guys always assume that I'm dating someone who's in their 30s. I always think that's funny.
Me too.
Like men, especially married guys, it's like their biggest fantasy is
Oh,
you must
yeah,
be
yeah.
that. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
you must get all the young women. I know you must be dating somebody.
Right,
And I'm
yeah,
always
yeah.
like, no.
Yeah,
I
nah,
date. And
yeah.
he always seems shocked to
Like, I'm
find
not-
out
Because
that
that's
I
what they
date
want to
women
do,
my
and they're
age.
thinking if I wasn't ball and chain down, I'd be out there with
like
you.
in movie, what's that movie, American Beauty? The
Yeah, yeah,
American
exactly.
Beauty, he's which is disgusting.
Yeah.
'Cause but
Right,
he's
right.
fantasizing about the
And the
neighbor
guy who's
kid.
in it.
Right, the guy. Right, that was his whole life.
And you know what? But
He
I
was
tell
just
you what.
playing himself.
Right.
But you know what? This type of thing goes actually to our topic that we're going to be talking about next, which is bucket list items. Because for some people, like those guys, a young chick in their 20s being able to rewind the tape like that could be a bucket list thing. For us, that's not. So we're going to, with the next week's poll question, we're going to find out what are some of the bucket list things that people want to do, that they have left to do, particularly like us if we're in our 50s. You know, like I know one thing that I straight up want to do that I'm not going to do is run a marathon. Like I'm clear that I absolutely want to run a marathon, but I ain't going to run no marathon.
I ran a half marathon.
Okay.
I did that, but that was never one of my bucket lists. I was just kind of like something to do. Like,
Yeah.
all right,
But
let me
you
train
rode
this.
your bike, the
Yeah, you ride the
equivalent
bike,
of
yeah.
like 10 marathons.
I did. Well, not. I mean, I did ride a bike 106.2 miles. It was far. But and that
probably
is
never
similar.
doing
That
that.
could be similar. That is actually 100
in the
plus
middle
mile
of the
bike
summer.
ride is similar to a marathon.
It is a
but
marathon.
the reason why I don't count it the same is because as much as I love riding my bike and being a cyclist, a bike is a machine. Marathon is
Your whole body.
your feet, and heart
Oh,
and
wait.
brain, and that's it.
Speaking of marathon, shout out to Antar.
Oh,
Our buddy Antar.
absolutely.
He's done
All
six
six
marathons.
world,
Yeah,
right.
so
It's-
Antar,
Yeah, London, Tokyo, Berlin,
New York.
Boston, Chicago, and Boston.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
We
them
got
all.
Not
We're
Marine-
proud
not
of us.
Marine
We're
Corps?
proud of it. Huh?
Not Marine Corps?
No, the Marine Corps is not
It's
part of
not,
the Big
it's not
Six.
part of the Big
The Big Six is all it's big cities. They're
Yeah.
all major cities. But anyway, this has been a very interesting conversation today. I
Yeah,
really,
well.
you know what, this truly is one that I'd like to come back and talk more
Find
on
some more,
because,
right.
you know, there are a couple things that we touched on that I think we could that are kind of taboo. I do want to talk about the pubic hairs one. We can also talk about the pills,
pills, yeah.
or we could be just too scared to talk about these
No,
things. I don't know.
no. We should. I think we should also do some research. I think we should date a woman in her in her 20s and a woman in her 60s and 70s, just for
So you're saying that's going to be on your bucket list
for,
discussion?
for research purposes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
Bucket
maybe,
list research.
You know what? I think we should go up
How's
to
his girlfriend going to like that?
Ooh, I think we should go up to Howard University. Maybe we should go to Howard
He's not
University.
talking. We're not talking about
Yeah,
actually.
like, this is
we're
research.
talking about hypothetically.
This is
we're
research.
talking about yes.
Maybe I should be able to go up to HU.
Talking about mental exploration,
Somebody,
not physical.
as long as they're over 19, maybe like 21, so they can drink.
I'll see. I'm gonna let you go with that. Yo,
Even my father was like 19.
keep it 30 plus. All right, keep it 30 plus
Right.
if you're in your 50s. Yo, I
Yo,
think
we're out
done
of here.
this. A11 crew,
crew,
the
we're out.
50s all. We are out.
Let's go, pick your feet up though. Let's go, pick your feet up though.